So I see a lot of posts about protection and Reiki practitioners. How do we perform protection? How do we protect ourselves? How do we protect our energy? How do we ground our energy? How do we put protection around us when we're working with a client? Yada yada yada, all this kind of stuff. And some practitioners might want to do that. They might want to protect themselves because they have maybe an insecurity about something. However, I often see this across social media, and my comment is pretty much always the same. I don't protect myself. I don't feel a need to. One, Reiki is a part of our energy, and the way I try to explain it to people is, if I have to protect my energy, then the client then has to protect their energy, because we've all got our own stuff. If the client then has to protect their energy, then we have to protect the room, and then we may have to protect the building, and then we may have to protect something else. And you've got all these different layers of doubt, of fear, of worry. And if we're working from a place of fear and worry, that is what is bringing negative energy in. And you're harvesting and using that negative energy within your practice, because you're practicing within the vibrational energy of fear and worry. So if we have a belief system of inner strength, of letting go of worry, of letting go of fear, of letting go of doubt, of being grateful, of being compassionate, working harmoniously with gratitude, with integrity, without the doubt and without the fear, then that is the strongest place we can practice from. And nothing can affect you. Nothing can harm you. And there is far more worse things in the physical world than the energy world. So, yes, I've talked a lot in the past about cleansing, about protection, about grounding. Every practitioner has their own way of practicing. And I'm not knocking any practitioner for their beliefs, for whatever they want to do, if that's what makes them feel safe. But that's just from my belief, my understanding. I've never felt really the need. Maybe in my early years of practicing, I would have perhaps tried to use protection. But to be honest with you, I never felt any different. And it's like when I've made videos before about asking for angelic guidance or spiritual guidance or spirit guides to come through. I've never felt any different. And in fact, the more I've let go and the more I've just allowed the Reiki to do what it needs to do, there's less involvement, and it's keeping it simple, and it actually feels more effective and more powerful. So don't be practicing in the element of fear. Don't be practicing in the vibration of worry, or what's going to happen, or what are they going to bring in. Straight away, your intention is opening up your energy field, your vibrational field of worry, of doubt, of fear. Yeah, just a few thoughts for you to be aware of. Again, I'm not knocking anybody that practices various things. You know, when we're working with, if you're working in mediumship, you're working in psychic circles, then that's when you need to use protection. But in Reiki, we're not working with psychic energy. We're not working in mediumship. We're not working with external spiritual energies. We're working with our own spiritual energy. And that is what's happening. That's where it's coming from. So, yeah, just a few thoughts. Let me know what you think. Let me know about your practice. Let me know if you use protection. I use grounding. I use the breath for grounding. I use mantra for grounding. That's my grounding practice. What's yours? What's your practice for grounding?